Let's call Zach's original number x. Then he halves this number, so that's going to give me a half x, and adds 8 to the result. And he obtains the same answer, so that means equals if he doubles his original number and subtracts 8 from the result. Find x. Well, I'm going to go through this in two ways. Method one, this is called a linear equation, by the way, and we say x is on both sides. So method one is normally to get x on one side, but because we've got a fraction here, actually, I'm going to deal with that first. I just find it easier to do that. And what we can do is we can times both sides by 2. This is called the balancing method. As long as we do the same thing to both sides, we're okay. And when I times both sides by 2, this is essentially what I'm doing. Now these are in brackets, and I've got 2x. I've got 2 times this equals 2 times this. And the reason I've done that is because now I'll get rid of the fraction. I'm going to get x plus 16 equals 4x minus 16. Okay, if you're confident, of course, you can just times each term by 2. Absolutely fine to do that. Right, now I've got rid of the fraction. I'm going to get x on one side. So I'm going to minus x, the smaller amount, from both sides. These cancel, and I get 16 is equal to 3x minus 16. I do 4x minus x. Now add 16. 32 is equal to 3x. We're nearly there. That was a two-step equation. This is now a one-step equation. Just divide through by 3. I'm going to put x on the left. X is 32 over 3. Little short division. 3's into 32 goes once, and then 0 remainder 2. So it's going to be 10 and 2/3. E. Of course, you could have got this answer by substituting in 10 and 2/3 into this, but you'd have to try it for all of them. It's not a good method, really. Much better to learn how to solve them. Let me just talk you through another method. Like, I would go with that method, by the way. But half x plus 8 is equal to 2x minus 8. Right, you could have done it without dividing or without multiplying through by 2 and actually getting the x's on one side to start with. So minus a half x. It's just that when equations become more complicated with like multiple fractions, it's just better to get rid of the fractions. So now I get 8 is equal to, and actually 2 minus a half is 1.5, or 3 over 2. I'm going to write it as 3 over 2. 3 over 2x minus 8. And then I'm going to add 8 to both sides, so 16 is equal to 3 over 2x. And now okay, there's a few ways you could do it. If you're used to just dividing by the number in front, then I'm going to do x is equal to 16 divided by 3 over 2. This becomes 16 times 2 over 3, which is actually 32 over 3, the same as before. You might alternatively do this question by timesing through by 2 to give 32 is equal to 3x, and then dividing through by 3. Okay, you get the same answer. So there's different ways to approach it. Arguably, it's a little bit quicker, but I just think it's just best to avoid adding fractions where possible. So I prefer to multiply through. Anyway, that's the answer, 10 and 2/3.